Anything I see on the internet is like AI. Kind of scary.
If you're doing it to like pass your classes and stuff and homework, that's not good.
$250,000 of alumni money on a Red Hawk statue. Do you think college is a scam? Welcome everybody to the Full Swing Podcast. My name is Diego. I am here with Jack. How you doing, Jack?
Doing good.
You ready for our second episode?
Oh yeah.
You ready?
2 days after the second one.
This was not 2 days after the second one. Oh, well, we're making this 2 days after the second one was released.
Yeah.
This was supposed to release January 19th, but it might release sooner because we were...
Yeah, in a few weeks from now.
Yeah, we felt impulsive. I felt impulsive. But anyway, we're going to get right into it. Today we're going to be discussing... Today we're going to be discussing less of a wide range of topics. We're going to stick to just... one topic area, and then we're going to go from there. We got some questions written down. Me and Jack have some questions written down, so we're going to go with that. So, first off, do you think college is a scam?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
I think it's a scam in a certain way. You know what I mean? It's not just a scam overall, but I think it's a scam depending on what major you're going for. You know what I mean? So... I think if we're going to be, just for a quick example, I think if we're going to be a doctor or something like in the STEM field, then I think you do need a degree, because how else are you going to get those jobs if you're not, if you're not getting a degree learning it? You can't really learn that stuff on your own. Besides like computer science, you could do online courses, but, I think everything else besides that, definitely you could do by yourself. You don't need college.
So you just believe that all the kind of like the doctors, the engineers, the architects, they're the ones who probably need a college degree? Not probably, they do need a college degree.
Well, I mean, myself, I'm a design major. Okay. So I definitely think I need my degree, but my degree is more like specific, and I just need my degree because you quite literally can't get a job in my field without a degree, like learning it. Even though you can technically learn how to draw yourself and design by yourself, I think for most things like communications, psychology, just the basic stuff, I think like you really don't need college at all.
For psychology, you don't need college?
To get a job, yes, but in terms of like learning, no.
Right, but I mean,
I think part of college, part of what you're paying for is the learning experience, and I think if you're getting a degree just to get the job, then I think that's considered a scam if the actual learning experience isn't up to par.
So there's this, I'm going to play devil's advocate throughout this podcast. There's this idea, there's these people out there that say, a few people out there say that college is mostly what you make out of it.
That's true.
And in terms of that, right, because where you're going with this, I kind of agree with. But on the other hand, there's some people out there that would agree that in reality, there's so much opportunities to make college worth it and not a scam, regardless of what you're doing. And I'm going to lay down some examples for the people who complain. Do you think college, like, on top of being why is it a scam too? Is it just because you don't think people need to go to college, or do you think it's the most?
Well, I agree on the part where college is what you make of it, because that's definitely true. If you're going to college and living there especially, and then you're staying in your dorm all day, you're not doing your schoolwork, you're just trying to party all the time, then obviously it's going to be a scam no matter what you're doing. But
so in what way do you think it's a scam, like Charlie Kirk ways? Because I know you're talking about him.
I think it's a scam in the way where most majors, I think it has to do with the job market too. You know what I mean? Like, just nowadays, getting a basic degree isn't really going to get you anywhere. You have to put in that extra amount of work. And for most people, it's a scam for most people, because most people don't put in their full effort into college, and therefore they're just trying to do the minimum amount of work, just pretty much cruising through just to get their degree. And I think that's going to get them like a really good job. Whereas nowadays it's a lot harder, and you need to put in that extra mile. You go that extra mile to get that job that you want, on top of just getting your degree, which is just doing like extra stuff that's not actual schoolwork, you know.
Do you think your grades matter?
Well, me personally, like we discussed this before, me personally for my major, not necessarily, just because mine is more art focused and more portfolio. My portfolio matters. But I think I mean, I can't really speak for all majors because I don't really know. I think it's just very specific depending on what you're doing. But I mean, if you're going for a business degree, then yeah, your grades probably matter because they don't really have necessarily a portfolio of their work. It's more of so their grades, which are dictating how good of a student they are.
I agree. I also think that like, I mean, would you want your doctor to have gone through school with like just D's? Like, could you imagine
Well,
if like
yeah. If you're a doctor, then yeah, you're gonna need like A's and B's. Like you have to because most of it is literally just schoolwork.
art? I've heard some things where like people are kind of like scared of where we're headed as a generation because people keep saying that like as generations go on from ours to the next, we keep getting lazy and lazy, and on top of getting lazy, we also just with all this AI stuff coming in and like making us a lot more like even more lazy, that we're not really learning anything, and so there's this like scare that we're moving towards a world that where we'll have doctors that aren't really like good doctors. Like,
Oh yeah,
do you like agree with that or?
like the I've seen like the TikToks of the doctors with like one AirPod in using ChatGPT and
Yes.
uh
Wait. I haven't seen that video. So tell me about that video.
well not yeah I've just seen videos of like skits of like it'll be like doctors in 2050 and they'll have one AirPod in and it's just like yeah ChatGPT says you got cancer, you're gonna die next week.
Yeah,
That's probably where we're heading to.
that's hilarious.
It's realistic. It's probably gonna happen.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I mean, we can both agree that like, cause all I see nowadays when I go on the internet now is just like, and we're going off topic a little bit, but whatever. Like I'm gonna say this, anything I see on the internet is like AI. Like I remember I saw an ad, and the guy was like, "Wait, do you see this? Do you think this is a real ad?" And it's like an entire ad made up of just AI. Like AI made the entire ad, and it's like, it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
So like, I wouldn't really like be against, not be against. That's not the right word. For a lack of a better word, I wouldn't be like doubtful of us heading to a point of us getting to a point where doctors do use AI to like figure certain things out. Like if you like put like a chip into someone's body or like a pill and it's like you got AI detecting it. I mean, bro, remember we passed by Target, we saw those freaking rings
Yeah.
that
Oh,
that detect like your whole
those are
like
crazy. Those are cool though. Those are really cool.
yeah, but like that like you don't who thinks of that? You know what I'm saying? Like you don't even like
Well, yeah. That's just technology advancing. You know.
yeah.
I think that's a good thing. It's scary, but it's good.
Yeah, it's good, but it's also like now that we're on this topic, we might as well continue. Do you think it's making people
Lazy.
not just lazy, like dumb?
What specifically?
I mean, just in general, like all of it, like AI in general. Like, do you think like when used wrong, especially, or for the wrong reasons or in the wrong ways, do you think it's like negatively impacting us as a generation?
Um,
Because
for the most part, yeah.
I say that only because we don't have like the need to learn. I feel like anymore.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's nice that we have AI for like ease of use, just for things. But if you're doing it to like pass your classes and stuff and homework, like that's not good at all. And when you think about it, like the people that made ChatGPT, like or just made AI in general, like coded it up, they put in that hard work so the newer generation can use it, and then I feel like it's just gonna have that snowball effect of just getting easier and easier over time.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like easier. Right, but what I mean by like, you see how you said it's gonna keep getting easier and easier,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I feel like that would just make people less and less self-aware, and I feel like if you're a businessman using an AI model to like be more efficient and letting things do like the shit themselves, then I get it. But like if you're like, I see a lot of like, I mean, I'm an advocate. I like not advocate. I'm a victim of it too. Like I've used ChatGPT in school. I'm always come.
Yeah, I think we all have.
I have almost gotten in trouble for it because I used it the wrong way. And I don't think there's anything wrong with using AI to like come up with ideas, or like, if you're like not really sure of something, like looking it up that way, because AI is pretty good with that. But like in terms of using it for everything, which is what people are like using it for. I mean, you see, there's musicians using artists' voice and making music out of it.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. That's like
Like,
very.
where's right? So like, where's the creative aspect in that? Where's the talent anymore? Where's, what I'm saying? I feel like it with music, with videos, with anything you look at today, everything's just looking hyper realistic, and it's all just getting more and more like.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think most of that stuff is just for fun, though. I don't think you should take that seriously.
Well, I mean, I did hear that Elon Musk was saying that we should take it more seriously.
Well, like the silly stuff, or just AI in general.
In general, he was
Well,
saying
yeah,
he was saying that we should have more overlook over AI. Like we should have like, just like how we have the Board of Education overlooking schools and what you can't do, whatever. We should have something in place to overlook AI. Because if you think about it, if we go on the other spectrum of it, right? He was basically saying like just how I brought up the voice replication for the artists. Okay, what if one day I called you, or somebody calls you using my voice and says, "Hey, bro, I need this," or your mom calls you, quote unquote, but it's actually somebody else using your mother's voice.
wouldn't you be able to see the phone number?
What What do you mean? When did you be able to see a phone?
So if they call you using your voice,
You could just be. I mean, yeah, but I mean, there's ways to go around that though. If we get to that point, like it's different if you hear a robotic voice. When a random caller ID calls you, you hear a robot voice. It's different. If you hear your mother's voice, that's just gonna be weird. And easily I could be like, "Hey, it's your mom. My phone died. I'm calling you from,
yeah,
so and so." That's scary. Like the voice replications and like
yeah,
the way we look and how people are changing like a bunch of stuff now, even more than they did before. Like I don't know, it's kind of scary.
yeah. I think AI is headed towards a positive yet negative direction. It's just kind of I think we're gonna experience both sides of the spectrum in terms of what it's gonna be in the future. But I guess we'll see where that goes. But
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
What are your like experiences with college and I guess Montclair in general? You could talk about, and like just how did it go for you dorming your first year and you know all of that. Curious.
So Montclair, which is where I go now, Montclair State University. It was definitely my last choice. And when I got there, I was not wanting to be there. You know, if I got to be honest, which is I feel like a lot of people relate to this, but before I got into my first year of college at Montclair, I was trying to make the decision between saving money and or going to a school I really wanted to go to.
And it's still expensive, Montclair,
Of course,
in general.
any school you go to, even if what I'm saying, it's expensive. School's just expensive. But the idea was that my mom on one end, right? Because I was kind of like that middle child. I felt like because on one end my mom, which, and I'm gonna tell you right now, neither my mom nor my dad are wrong, and I learned that the hard way, and I learned that over the years that neither of your parents are necessarily wrong. They might have different ideas for what's better for you, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong, right? That just means there's more choices or different choices to make. But back to it, my mom on one end was like, "Hey, maybe you should go to Brookdale. You don't really know what you want to do. Maybe you should just go to Brookdale, save some money, and figure it out then, so you can still be back home and work." And then my dad on the other side was like, "No, go to college. You're gonna regret it if you don't go to college. Enjoy your 4 years at college. Make something great out of it, and just don't BS it and just go." And so, what was the middle child in between both of them? Well, I said, you know what? Montclair State is a college that is cheaper than most of my options that I had. The cheapest option which was my last, Montclair State. But it also could mean that I could stay close to my mom and my family, and that I can travel back and forth whenever I wanted to. And so that in my mind was a safe call. But later in the year, when I actually got into it, it was very new. I kind of got this feeling that I didn't really want to be there. And so I low-key became like a rebel in a way, like a little underdog, I felt like, because, well, one, I had really tough time making friends at first. I think like the first 2-3 months.
Yeah, I think everyone. It's kind of like a universal experience for everyone.
Some people. I think.
Unless you know people going in.
Hear me out. I think if you're somebody who was very extroverted and knew a lot of people in high school, you probably didn't have that much of a hard time fitting in college, because you're able to do that. You're able to go out and talk to people and meet people. But for me, I was a very introverted kid. And so when I got to college, it was very hard for me to go out and meet people, especially because I was very insecure in myself. It was a whole new environment. I was living on campus, which is not living with my parents anymore. So it was like, oh, this is a lot. And I went and I lived the college experience, but my first year I failed. So I failed my first semester and I failed my second semester. And then I put myself in a very big hole because I had to make up for it the next year, and I was put in probation and all this crazy stuff happened to me. And now we're back and we're alive. And I'm thankful for that experience, because if it wasn't for that learning experience, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be talking to you.
Mm.
I could have easily dropped out. And there was plenty of times where I wanted to go along with what everybody said. Oh, college is like too much money and like you don't really need college. And I'm like, sure, I 100% agree that you might not need college, but I feel like college is definitely a great learning experience for anybody. I don't care for what reason you decide to go to. I feel like college, going back to the first question because we kind of let off, college in itself is a good thing because you learn from it. You make friends. You make experiences. It doesn't even matter if you slack off in school, because you learn the hard way if you slack off in school. It's not like high school where you don't do your work and you can still make it, you know?
Mm.
Literally fail in high school and still graduate, right? And you learn that the hard way. But I think the hardest thing coming into college the first year was all these different things and all these different responsibilities, and just the fact that I had this freedom to like skip class, oversleep, do whatever I wanted. I was going to parties, I was doing this. And yeah, I feel like the first year was definitely my hardest. I don't know, for you it was a little different, right? Because you went to a community college.
Yeah, well, I went to Brookdale first, community college.
How was that? Like, was that your choice? Because I feel like we never really talked about this, me and you. Was that your choice, or was that?
Yeah, for the most part, it was my choice. My grades in high school weren't the brightest. I wasn't the brightest student.
Neither were mine.
It's not like I had many options to start off with. Like, yeah, I could have gone to Montclair, could have gotten into Montclair, but it's like, I kind of figured at the time, like, I wasn't really much of like a school person. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, especially. So I just figured, like, what's the point in going to a 4-year university if I don't even know what I want to do? And I think a lot of people do that. They go in and they go undecided major, which I honestly think I did that. Actually, going into Montclair, I still didn't know what I wanted to do. But thinking back on it, it was foolish, I think, just because when you think about it, at that point, you're kind of just going to a university just to go to a university, because the whole point of it is to, do a specific, topic, like do a major.
Yeah, you're going there to study.
So I definitely wanted to wait until then. But, I mean, the reason why I did transfer over after only 1 year was just because, again, I did want that college experience. And I got it. And do I regret it? No. But I definitely could have held off another year and gotten my associate's degree and kind of figured out what I wanted to do while saving more money. But at the end of the day, I don't really think 1 year matters too much. But I wanted to ask you about this, too, because me personally, I really hated the food at college. Like, there's a lot of problems with it. I just want to know, like, what were your thoughts on the whole dining experience?
So I think here's the thing, right? I can't speak for everybody because all colleges are different. I mean, you go to Villanova State, not Villanova State. You go to Villanova, the private school in Philly, which I've been there before. Beautiful. Their food was amazing. Nothing compared to Montclair.
Oh yeah, NC State too, really good.
Right. So it depends what school you go to, what kind of things you get from it. But this is a prime example, right? Like, you get what you pay for. To be fair, we are at the I'm not going to say, like, I'm not trying to be rude towards Montclair or people that go to Montclair, but we are at the bottom of the spectrum. If we talk about Montclair and schools like Princeton, Arizona State, North Carolina State, Harvard, like all these like bigger schools, yeah, we're on the low side of the spectrum. So yeah, although I do feel like our school especially doesn't really focus enough on the important things like the food. You know, I know the school dropped $250,000 of alumni money on a Red Hawk statue.
The baseball field too.
Right. And
That's the problem though. They're spending the money on the wrong things when they really should be spending it on the food and just like basic common stuff like that actually matters.
right. And somebody told me that like, oh, but it's alumni money. I was like, that's even worse. And I remember like, sorry guys, we gotta keep cutting because the cameras are dying. But like I was saying, it's alumni money, yes. But the alumni weren't happy that the money went into the statue.
Yeah, they don't care.
And yes, they're renovating stuff. Like, they got that golf simulator in there. That's awesome. They got, different things on campus now. But
They're trying to do too much and they're not focusing on what actually matters. You know what I mean? Like the golf simulator is cool, obviously, especially for us because we golf. But when you think about it, it's unnecessary. When they could have spent that money on even making the food like a little better or just doing something with that, so all the students which share that problem could benefit from it.
I agree. No, yeah, I agree. But, I mean, back to the point, right? You get what you choose. And we chose the cheapest option. And you get the cheapest results, right? You go to a school like North Carolina, it's more expensive, of course, but you get better results. You get to go to these big football games. And, we got football games, but they're not like...
Nobody goes to football games.
And if people that go to the football games, like, they're not like Rutgers. They're not like NC State. They're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not like...
I'm a D3 athlete, and sometimes I forget I'm an athlete there. I'm not gonna lie. Like the athletics there, are just not really.
Right. Are you ever like regretting not choosing a different path in terms of college? Or maybe not regret, but do you ever wish you like chose a bigger college or just like a more fun college or like just a...
No, I'm happy with my choice just because I like kind of I wouldn't really like to be in a huge giant state college, especially away from my family, like far away. But even if I were to go to Rutgers, I think Montclair for me is just a better choice, just because I'd rather have that kind of more tight knit community, and just kind of, it's more specialized the school. I don't really want to be that dude who goes to the giant state college and then I feel like you're easily forgettable if you go to a giant like college like Rutgers.
So it's interesting how you use that word because I'm in a different mindset now. I don't really like being in a school where everybody knows me, because everybody knows me, and it just puts me back into that college mindset, and I feel like I'm still stuck in a small world.
You mean high school mindset?
High school mindset. Thank you for catching me. I still feel like I'm stuck in a high school mindset living at such a small school because I know everybody and I see the same people. I see the same classes, professors all the time, and I feel like I wish I could get that like nuance every once in a while of like people I don't see, new places that I can go every year that I haven't experienced, versus I'm pretty sure I can tell you that I've been almost everywhere on that campus and I've been everywhere around that campus,
Yeah, there's not much to do up there.
Exactly. And sometimes I don't really like that because sure, seeing the same people is good sometimes, but I also have a lot of oppositions on.
I guess I kind of, thinking about it, take back my statement a little bit, because I guess the only reason I am at Montclair is because of my major and because you can't really find it anywhere else. But if Rutgers had what I'm doing, I would probably want to transfer over there.
Right.
Just because, yeah, I guess you are getting that kind of experience with new people. Because, yeah, I mean, it is annoying running into the same people constantly, especially people that you don't want to see, that you've had like bad experiences with or whatever. That's always annoying.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm going to just mention this for anybody going into college soon. And I feel like you can actually put this into anything. Just the whole relationship situation in terms of finding new friends and being around new people and having new experiences. I learned the hard way that it's okay when there are people that come into your life and go in your life. And especially in college, I feel like that's happened to me a lot. I mean, I didn't know you till sophomore year of college, but I had a lot of other friends in my freshman year that I don't really talk to that much. And sometimes I'm still not very happy about that because it's like whatever. But I learned the hard way that like, for better or for worse, there's always a reason for why people come into your life and why people leave or go. And by leave and go, it just means like you split apart. Sometimes you grow apart from people. Sometimes not because you intentionally do it, but just because things happen.
Yeah.
Has that's happened to you?
Especially in college, yeah. Like a lot that's happened to me with people. And I mean, I won't drop any names, but I just think, yeah, you kind of have to accept that part of college where like you're going to get introduced to so many people, but because you're getting introduced to so many people, you're not going to be compatible with all of them. And you got to find like your group in college and like the type of people that you want to be around, because also it's like the type of people that you surround yourself with, like you're going to act like them and you're going to have the same goals as them most likely. And I think for me, especially because like a lot of people at our college kind of, not everyone obviously, but I feel like a lot of people at our college definitely acting like a similar manner to where like I mean, you notice it too, there's a lot of people that don't really have like goals, or like they're kind of just like the party people that just kind of mess around all day and don't do much. And me personally, like I wouldn't want to befriend those type of people. Not saying I wouldn't be friends with them, but especially in college when it's kind of like I really have to like lock in with my work, I don't really want to be around someone who's constantly like not doing their work. And I think that kind of caused me to push away a lot of people. But yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Well, you know how they say, surround yourself around successful people, you're gonna be successful. Surround yourself around lazy people, you're gonna be lazy. I agree with that to a certain extent. I also think that I want to add something else into that. Is I also think that you should surround yourself around not just successful people, because there are successful people out there that aren't your people, right? I still think that there's a huge importance in finding people that you are comfortable with, right? Because I can't just go be successful with somebody I'm not comfortable with, that I know that I can trust, that I can, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some people take it too far. I think like what I just said. I agree. You do have to have that balance of people who aren't just fully like solely focused on just like success, just grades, all that. Like you need that fun, that balance in your life.
Having people that are being around people that are successful, but being around people that you can trust, and being around people that you genuinely care about. I think you need all those things to get to a good point. And I've been through that. I mean, I had friends, and I was usually in situations, especially freshman year, where I would surround myself around people who had these negative mindsets of like, oh, college isn't really that important, and like this and that. And it's like, it took me learning the hard way and then getting away from those people to now be where I'm at, get my grades back up, get the good friends around me that actually care about where I'm headed and that want to be successful with me and that care about me and, want to drive me upwards just as much as they want to drive themselves upwards,
Mm-hmm.
So I think I see an importance in that.
Well, I mean, I know you had a girlfriend going into college. If you could speak on that experience, like, did that kind of hinder your grades? Like, how do you recommend it to other people?
So this is a very controversial topic.